episode of the Business of Entertainment, we shall work together as we take a step to seeing what it takes to be an ordained minister of God, a writer, and a director extraordinaire. He's a Nigerian by birth, African, and by blood. And this reflects in all the things he does, even when he's on set directing his actors and actresses. Pascal Amanfo has carved a niche for himself. He's the one that you can learn directing from. Director A grade. He's an accomplished brilliance. So on the Business of Entertainment today is Pascal Amanfo. Hello, you're welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's go straight to business. What makes a good writer?
What makes a good writer? Someone with the profound ability to think in pictures. And writers just imagine and think in pictures, of course, plus have a great deal of diction and, good command of English language per se. But basically, ability to think in pictures, to see the entire story come together in pictures in your head, plot by plot, scene by scene, and being able to fuse that into a perfect screenplay that can make an interesting read.
Wow. What makes a good director?
A good director, very similar to a writer, ability to think in pictures, but then with a spice of technical know-how, because then you have a camera and you are telling your entire story with the camera. So you are translating what's in the script to screen with the medium of the camera. So you must be able to understand the camera language. How close do I want to reflect that emotions? Why do I want to portray this particular shot? Why am I taking this? Why am I taking that? So the ability to think in pictures and translate those pictures visually with the aid of the camera makes you a good director.
Okay, so how do you discover a good actor?
Well, it depends. I always say I'm a stickler for talent. So talent is something you can't hide. You see someone with good talent, you just know that this person stands out. Some people are born with it. They're naturals. Others pick up the skill and train themselves and hone their skill. But whichever way, once you see a good actor perform, whether it's on stage or screen, you know that this is a standout talent. And of course, every good director should be drawn to a fantastic actor.
Okay, you have Pascal, you've directed a lot of movies on the continent. Which country would you say have a lot of budget to spend in terms of making movie and then profits?
Well, I think people assume that the natural answer will be Nigeria, but I don't think that's correct. I think South Africans do a lot of big budget movies. Maybe not, they don't churn out the quantity that Nollywood churns out, but they do a lot of big budget movies because a lot of foreign input coming in. Even Kenyans, a lot of Italians and Germans make films there. Perhaps not 100,000 films that comes out of Nollywood or even Galileo, but I think that South Africa, yes, a couple of good production series, high profile budgets and all that, good working conditions that different from the dynamic Nollywood practice. So yes, but second to that would be Nigeria, of course, in terms of numbers and 200 million people. Of course, you can imagine the market commercial value that they portend.
Okay, you have produced a couple of movies of your own. Which is more enjoyable, directing or producing?
Directing, producing is painstaking. You're worrying about too much. I prefer come on set, face my creative side of it, and go home. Producing, you are worrying about that and worrying about that. Enjoyable as a human being directing. Maybe producing is more profitable, but then for your peace of mind, you're not worrying about where this person is sleeping, what artist is, all of that. Producing is like a whole bunch of issues you're carrying on your head until the set is wrapped up. So directing for me helps me focus on my creative side and of course perform better.
But you said producing is also very profiting?
Yes, in terms of, I'm saying for now, maybe I should go deeper. Maybe if you are investing, of course, you have to recoup more as a producer. Then you are dealing with, maybe you're going to cinemas or whatever, and you are involved in the process up until the last sale of the last DVD. But then again, when you say enjoyable, I'm thinking for your peace of mind, for the craft. And what I enjoy doing most is just concentrating on the creative side and leaving all the business angles to the producer. But then there are times when I also produce and I double as, which is very, very draining. At such times, you don't want to see me on the set. It's you're stretched between thinking as a businessman and thinking as a creative person, and it can be very tasking on your body.
Right. In 2014 interview with Vanguard, Nigerian Nollywood actress Sharon Francis described you as a mentor who deserved the praises. Our question is, What should other directors do to be able to get these praises?
I think that it's when you improve an actor, it's like a coach in a football team. When you find an average player or a young player and you improve them, their technical ability, their skill, and they feel that you've improved them, I think then they make comments like this. So when you meet actors on set, I think beyond action to cut, improve them as a human being. In between the takes, call them aside, give them nudges, do this more. Know what their strengths are. I always say that every actor has a strength or a weakness. I don't care who the person is. Hollywood, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So you encourage them to play more to their strengths. So when you do that to an actor and he or she sees the fact that you are interested in their development, then they make such comments. So I think directors should look out more to be quote unquote father figures, for lack of a better expression, develop actors, and some people have a speech impediment, pronunciation of words, whatever it is that they are struggling with, give them nudges. Some people need mirror expressions to rehearse faces, but let them improve themselves. So the first day on set, you give them nudges, second they come back, they are better off than they were the previous day, the third day, and for 7 days, the person says, wow, I enjoyed the set. Then they make comments like this. So we should look out for more investing into actors. And most directors are even very bad actors, but they just know what an actor should do, but they can't act to save their lives. So, but since whatever is theoretical knowledge, impact them and make sure they're better off when you leave them on from that project.
Right. And being in the movie world, a lot of producers do complain on the lack of funding from corporate entities. What is your view on that and how can it be solved?
Well, I don't know if it's an issue of the corporate entities not buying into our industry as a business venture.
Okay.
Or we not packaging our industry in such a way that is attractive to the corporate entity. I don't know I think it's caught between those two arguments. For example, I don't want to mention the name of companies. Okay. That company invests in GFA, in the Premier League.
Okay.
I think somebody packaged the Premier League in such a way that the corporate entity can see, this is business. I don't know if we have been able to package our industry so well. I think the music side, I think they have done a bit of, we can see some sponsors and whatever movie award, music awards and all that. I don't think that we on the movie side have been able to well package our industry. Maybe that has to do with the lack of governmental support, active governmental policies on film, fighting of piracy. So if I'm investing $200,000, what is the guarantee that I'll get that money back? And is it going through sales of CDs? Is it going through what platform? Ghana as we have to go to. I don't know why MultiChoice wants us or feels that we should take movies from Ghana to Nigeria to sell. I think that Ghana, for the stake that we have, having from the time of let's say the time of the commercial boom of video, let's say from Beyonce,
right.
All in Nadia's, we have the boom Van Vikas have. Right. I think that we ought to have MultiChoice office in Ghana where you can sell Ghana content in Ghana. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if we haven't really packaged now, whether it's Gale, whether it's Go, whatever name you want to call it. We haven't even sold it so well that it becomes attractive to the corporate entity. I think maybe that might be the problem. So while we look at them, we should still look inwards and take a part of the blame.
Okay, let's imagine the president of Ghana is in front of you right now. What would you tell him to do about the movie industry? I'll
tell him to see it, first of all, as a money spinner, as a business. Entertainment is a huge money spinner in America, even closer, more than oil. I think that our leaders do not know. I think they still look at us like, we're just joking around. They see it as see the potential in it, see that this could be a huge money spinner. Now let me ask you a question, Kisa. Why would I want to leave Tema and drive to Accra Mall to see a movie? There's no cinema in Osu. As busy as Oxford Street is, that whole stretch, that you could go at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. and buy a jollof, there's no...
Yeah.
If the government can say, okay, subsidize cinemas, community cinemas, it's a shame that I can't count 10 cinemas in the whole of this country. It's a big shame.
I think it's
2 or 3 working cinemas. I'm not saying it must be in the mall, so we don't need a huge edifice.
Right.
Community cinemas, the whole of Tema. Tema for me is another world entirely. You can get missing in Tema.
Yeah.
So government needs to see, first of all, first thing, this is a business. When you see it as a business, then you can think openly to create the ideas. When if it's still Charlie, they're just joking around. A couple of young people just carrying cameras around. Then it becomes, what it is now. So our government sees it first as a business. It's an employer of labor. Everyone you see on this set learned this. They have been employed. It provides for families. It feeds people.
Yeah.
It has a future. So when you see it as business, every other thing, then you will fight piracy well. Then you open markets. Then you open distribution channels because you know that this will bring money back.
Right. Wow. You once described Ajete Annan as every director's dream, particularly for his versatility and diligence to act in perfection. Why don't we have a lot of established and upcoming actors and actresses gaining such recommendations from directors?
Ajete for me is the best of the best. It means there's the best, and Ajete is the best because he's the only actor in all of my years that I have seen who comes to set with their lines. So I go, Ajete, we're doing scene 54, and he goes, 54, and he shot the script, and he doesn't open the script. I don't know about other set, but I talk about myself. And I've heard Majid say a couple of times when Majid comes to say, Ajete, I know you brought your lines before they wrote the script. Don't come and disgrace me here. So that's how. So what I'm saying that the man, after decades of career, still bends down to read to steady lines. When I was filming Letters to My Mother in 2013, I had a issue with John. John was traveling everywhere in the world. So Ajete was meant to play a character called Dr. Jamal, I think, and it was like 21 scenes. And John was a lead, like 60-something scenes. So when John was a bit of too busy, I said, okay, you know what? Let's swap roles. You play Ajete's 21 scenes. Ajete play John's 61. I called John, okay, well, based on my schedule, I think that will work. I called Ajete. Ajete said, no, it's not possible. I said, what? He said, no. These 21 scenes, I have immersed myself in the character. I cannot pull myself out. No. I said, Ajete, it's 1 week to shoot. He said, no, I cannot. I'm already on Adam Tapu's set. That's another character. And this, I cannot now divulge. And this is the first time I've heard an actor refuse a lead role. Refuse 60-something since 21 and said, I am in this character. So I think that the man puts in work into his craft. So I think that's probably what's missing from the younger ones. And of course, it's not their fault. We're in such a micro generation, so we want everything fast. We just come to set and feel like, Charlie, once I'm a guy, I'm nice looking, I can be on screen. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. So I think actors must put in the work. And you see, people who put in the work, the recommendation might not come immediately. It takes time. Like you said, versatility. You see him. I've seen Ajete in A Sting in a Tail. I've seen him Devil in a Detail. I've seen him in My Letters to My Mother. I've seen him in Single Six. I've seen him in several characters, and he's a different shade of Ajete Annan. So I think actors must put in the work. It's not just being able to read the lines, immersing themselves in the character. I think when they do that, perhaps I'm quick to give compliments. Perhaps other directors will say, okay, there's something special about this actor.
Okay, how much was involved from start to finish in your 2013 Bukom Haram movie? Plus, was the investment replicated in the outcome?
Okay, I can't remember how much was involved, and I didn't want to even remember how much was involved, and it wasn't replicated. It was a commercial flop. It was one of the projects that I regret doing. I try not to hold on to regrets, even though I have them. So I try not to hold on to them. It's one of the projects I regret ever doing because my friend, Majid Michel, committed to coming on that set for me for free. And so you understand, when the project had issues at the tail end with censors and all that, I was thinking, why didn't I just make a simple love story? And then Majid Michel was at the peak of who he was, and I would have made money. Who pushed me into going to shoot this whole sensitive story, Boko Haram? So it was a big commercial flop, all of that. Issues with the government, both here, both in Nigeria, and the whole 9 years of that. It's a project that I like to forget.
Okay, the movie title, even though was changed, it still was restricted by Ghanaian authorities then. What are the financial strains or setbacks do a movie maker encounter in times like this?
A lot, because I remember particularly the census board officials or task force, whatever, went as far as packing up the CDs from the market. So even if packing up the CDs from the market, and it will not even go to sale. Wow. Cinemas refused to show in Nigeria. And that, of course, that was the height of the Boko Haram issue. And people would tell me, imagine us showing the Boko Haram in the cinema in Abuja. That's like almost impossible. Or in Kano, that's asking for trouble, and all of that. And it's a lot. It was a very emotionally draining period, because then you lose. tangible investment, not only on production, on post-production, because you have printed CDs now. So you are stuck on production, you're stuck on post. CDs have been printed, movie cover jackets have been printed, all of that. Promo is supposed to be playing on air. You can't even quantify the loss emotionally, psychologically, and of course by physical cash. So you end up in debt because now you have supplied people CDs and this has been seized.
Yeah.
So you've taken monies from them. Now you now refund their monies. You now pay the company who printed the CDs in the first place. It took us more than 2 years to clear that mess. And
Sorry.
The marketer, I guess, even went off movie production from that. He never survived that loss.
It was a great loss then. In any movie production, we understand that cinematography, visual effects, and sound do come at high budgets. What else aside this takes so much cost during movie making?
Okay, I think by our own peculiar film practice, although I hate to say it, but it's the truth, what really takes large scale of funding is quote unquote actors.
Okay.
They are I call them for me, the laziest part of the production process, because they stroll in and stroll out, while you have to now, even after you say the wrap, proceed to the editing bench and, go through the whole 9 years of that. Even cinematography per se, how much a DP is paid. It's now that we're placing more value on that now with the advent of cinema and movies going to cinema, especially from the Nigerian angle. Now we are saying that, there are high profile DPs and all of that. But before, these guys were putting all the work and you get to actors take a great deal of funds. Of course, anywhere in the world too, because you need them. Again, our people must learn that it's not just per se the actor on set, it's his image you are using on your poster, on your social media. He's selling the film, he's the front of the film. So that's what actors really charge for, besides their expertise on set, is their whole image, because you're using them throughout. Sometimes they even come and sell tickets for you. So all of that is involved in their bargain. So, but actors take a great deal of money. And I kid you not, I'm sure when somebody tries to produce, the first thing they wake up with after the story is, hey, which actor will I use? How much you go charge? And that's because of how our film practice. So actors take a great deal of the money. If I'm really correct, depending on the film, like half of the budget. If you have like 3 or 4 faces, or even 2 sometimes, depending on what's the budget for the film, actors take a great deal of the money. Then the technical input comes in.
At this time of where Ghana movie industry is right now, would you advise an upcoming producer to produce?
It's hard because people are still producing, right? Whether you advise them or not. I think because the issue is, this job is very funny. Sometimes people do it for the passion, more from the financial. I think that you can produce, yes, advise people produce wisely. So the first thing I tell you is make sure you keep your
cash
low, what you invest in low, keep it low. Now, it's basically 2 ways. Either you're producing for a very low budget shoot, or you are going all out to do a project. There's not an in-between now. Okay. Before you could just do an okay movie and then you sell to this market. No. It's either you're doing a very low budget or you're going all out. And I mean, for example, there was a premiere of a movie, say 2 days ago over the weekend in Lagos Bling Bling. So I don't know if you saw it. They brought a Rolls Royce.
Yes,
I Rolls Royce on set. Elaborate red carpet. It was dressed for show. There was a theme for attending the premiere. It was such glitz and glamour. Had everyone who had any trapping of show business involved in Nigeria for the premiere. It was such a huge show. We call it a cool for show. People came in all kinds of costumes. So it's either you're going to do that, go all out and do something that's going to be a big, huge buzz, and yes, and you're not saying I'm going to do this and get my money in 6 months. You're giving yourself a running time. There's a marketing plan, all of that involved. Or you're doing a very small, very sensible shoot, very achievable, manageable story that comes together with interwoven around a few characters, and that yes, my input is small and I can break even. So whichever way you decide to go, I always say wise investment, wisdom. Wise investment, so that you are not just throwing monies around just for the sake of it. You're not excited by the fact that some people want because they want to play the lead role, or because they want to be on the flick, or want to have it posted on their page. I did something. No, it must be, with
well calculated
wisdom. Yes.
As an accomplished director, at what price would you consider leaving Africa for Hollywood?
We asked this question yesterday, and funny enough, I think that when people really say Hollywood, they don't really know what they're talking about. Because I have I have a few black actors,
Okay.
Nigerians, Ghanaians, who overseas. And it's not easy, Kisa. It's a big stream. There are a lot of black actors who are trying, American actors, whose dream is to get into Hollywood.
Americans trying to get into Hollywood?
Yes, because what we call, we see a simple indie movie because it's shot by whites, and we think it's Hollywood. It's not Hollywood. There are a lot of indie films shot the way we shoot here in America and Europe. Just the way we shoot. They're called indie movies. They have low budget funding.
Okay.
That's how Tyler Perry started. Tyler wasn't Hollywood from the beginning. You get what I'm saying? So once our people see a film that has a white person in it.
Or made in America.
Made in America. But there are people who are shooting in America whose dream is to get into Hollywood someday.
Okay.
And they're filmmakers, and they're just making their films, because they have very good scenarios, and have a bit of production. So very talented film school leavers and all of that come together to make this film. And their dream is to get into Hollywood. Some of them are DPs who come here to work because they can't have a break in Hollywood. So they come to Africa, do a project, get money. And the dream of the DPs is to want to do a big budget studio film. So Hollywood, big budget studio films, it's a great deal. And for us as black people, I always said I think that Hollywood will come to us when we develop our industry, make it so great that they see the potential, the commercial potential. Wow. Imagine Nigeria, 200 million, Ghana, 27 million, Benin, put that together. West Africa, I'm sure you're going to be clocking close to 1 billion of population if you would, that's a huge market if you do lip syncing in French. I think when our industry grows to that extent, because let me tell you, even for a black man in Hollywood, they still have problem with your accent. This is not the idea of how a black man speaks for them. Check every Hollywood movie. Blacks, they go like, my name is, so I'm talking to you now. They go the Wakanda way. That's their impression of the way we talk.
Okay.
They don't have this, you get it. That's their impression of the way. So they have an idea of when Chiwetel plays all of that. They have an idea of what they think is black to them. Our accent is what is a problem. So that's why I say that we need to build here. We need to think here, like what the Indians have done. From when I was a child till now, I could tell that they would dance in every Indian movie. They've given themselves an identity, and they're not ashamed of it. They would dance in their movies. They would do what? But look at what the industry is today.
Very big.
They're huge. Now they have Hollywood collaborations. Now they have. I think that's what we need to do. There are stories we are still. Imagine us deciding to tell the story of Nkrumah. Just imagine a film in Nkrumah, the son of the soil. That's another Mandela.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Everybody would want to see that.
That's huge. Mandela has been told in several ways. Lawrence Fishburne has told it. Morgan Freeman has told it. Who says there can't be an Nkrumah, son of the soil? That's huge. That's huge. That's a film that could be. That's huge. But how well have we sold Nkrumah? How well have we sold his story, his life? So I think that until we get to tick those boxes, we were way miles away from Hollywood. We can only go to LA and work on the sidewalks where we have the names of the stars and take pictures on our snaps on our Instagram. But until we build here, we should think here, think Ghana, think Nigeria, think Africa, build that industry, and then I think we'll get the international recognition that we deserve.
Wow. I know a lot of young ones are like, I want to be like Pascal and Amanfo. Can you look into the camera and inspire them, motivate them, tell them what it takes to be a good director, a good writer, and a good actor as well? And not forgetting being a minister of God.
Okay, I think first of all, I just want to say, first of all, know that your dreams are valid. However crazy they are, however insane they are. Insane because you might not have the means now. You might be a young guy or a young girl in that single room or whatever you are, and you're just thinking, I have so much dream and aspiration and ambition in me, but I have too little means. And because of your surrounding, you think maybe you give up on your dream. If your dreams were not valid, or if dreams don't come to pass, I probably wouldn't be sitting on this side of the camera today. So your dreams are valid. Pursue your dreams with dedication. self-commitment. Put yourself to it. It should consume you. It should be everything you live for. You should give yourself entirely to positive dream. And of course, do not forget, I always say this, if you lose this part, you lose everything. Do not forget the God factor, that you need God. People write me and say, I want to be stars. And I say, look, only God makes stars. Only God can make stars. You need God in your life, because when it matters most, He's your mainstay, He's your comfort, He's your shield. He'll keep you going, because it will get difficult, it will get hard. But with God and your dreams in your hands, write it down anywhere. You'll be a success. Your life will blossom and you'll be everything that you're destined to be. God bless you.
Before we end that, there is this thing I always ask every guest on my show. It's all about social media, how girls get naked for the likes, you know. And I know this naked pictures actually getting them roles which they are not even paid for, though. It's making them popular. Would you advise the young ones watching us now that they can also get naked, do all those Instagram twerking and everything just because they want to be famous, they want to be, you know, called in movies and all of that?
I write people because I try and show, I think that, you know, over time we've been judgmental, so I don't try to judge, I don't condemn, I try and show the love of God. So I don't throw my hand at them and tell them. So I ask them, why are you putting up these videos? Why? I just want to know why. And this is for what you said, for likes, for attention, because people feed off the attention. It makes them feel important. So you comment, you're nice, you're whatever, and it makes them, gives them some level of self-validation. Oh yes, I'm all that. And I say, look, if you're an actor, you're going to tie your worth to that video. So the next time you're on a set or an audition, all the director producer looks when he sees at you is a tool of satisfaction. All he sees is a couple of muscles in your pelvis or anal shaking. That's all he sees. He won't even see your talent, even if you have one. So it might get you attention for a while. It might get you popular for a season, but over time, it won't get you that mainstay you're looking for in the industry, because your value will only be tied to those videos, that image you portray. And trust me, you always pass them from one hand, because they will always see you in that little box and not see you beyond that. So it's a waste of time. And obviously, when I tell people like this, the wise ones get it. I say you don't need that. I'd rather you put up a video of a monologue and tag every director that you see starring in Africa, of your face in front of a mirror, or a little skit. I'd rather you put that up than, you know, put up some music, shake your butt, and do all of that for the attention. No, men are not like that. Especially the male director. No, he's not seeing your talent. There's no talent in that. He's seeing his bed sheet. That's all he's seeing, darling. That's all he's seeing. Trust me. That's all he's seeing. And you take up the right image and you remain in that level. You might get popular. I wish I could mention names. You might get popular. You might get really popular. You might get blogs writing about you. But deep down, what are you really? When your name is mentioned, what's your substance?
Getting naked.
Yes, that's what it comes to, getting naked. That's what it comes to at the end of the day. That's what it comes to. But today we can mention Omotla Jalade Kendi. We can see Genevieve Energy. You can see 30 years Jackie Appiah. You can see years of career and still relevant.
Very relevant.
Omotla today in the Oscars, you know, still relevant. That's what you're talking about. 4 kids after that, still relevant. So I think that's not about now. It's about 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Don't forget, the internet never forgets, never dies, never forgets.
Thank you so much for your time, Director.
Thank you for having me.
Right. That was Pascal Amanfo, a director, writer, and a minister of the gospel.